rock stars? What's going on? SE Rocks here with you once again with another episode of 3D Dudes, Drinks, and Discussion. Once again, I'm going to be going solo because this special episode is going to be a recap of my experience at Astronomicon 3 in Sterling Heights, Michigan this past weekend, which was, I believe, February 7th through the 9th. I can't recall. I was a little sick last week. I was really happy to be able to feel a little bit better to be able to make the trip down. We had some snowfall, hit just about south of Flint, so we made it there with no issues. It was myself, Lil Dre. We met up with Zanzan, the plant man in Saginaw. He was going to come down for Friday, but he also wasn't feeling well. Going to call him a little pansy here because he couldn't suck it up and head down with us, but, you know, it is what it is, right, Xander? He's not here. I'm just pretending like he is. But, yeah, so we had a little snowfall on the way down. The trip was fine. I'm not sure if I said Drea Sorass was with us, but she was with us, too. She made the trip. She was down for the weekend. We stayed at a friend's house. Big shout-out to Kyle and Leslie for being very accommodating on all of our trips downstate and letting us use their guest room and stuff. So, big thank you to you guys. You always treat us like family. Let me get this out of the way. I am drinking on a Zevia, 0-calorie soda, ginger ale, no sugar, no artificial sweeteners, caffeine-free. Keeps us going through the podcast. But anyway, so yeah, Astronomicon 3 was this past weekend. Had a blast, even though I wasn't feeling 100%. Like I had said in the previous rundown podcast, wasn't sure if we were even going to go probably till about a week and a half before because the celebrity lineup was pretty weak compared to the 2 years past. There was literally zero panels that we wanted to check out or that I wanted to check out. They canceled the one that I was looking forward to Friday, which is why we initially were going to go down on Friday and hang out Friday night, which was the trauma panel. I'm not sure why they canceled it. I don't think they ever announced it, but big shout out to the dude who does host the panels there at Astronomicon 3. He listened to our last podcast and commented on it. So thanks, brother, for checking it out. Thanks for giving us the compliments on the rundown. I appreciate that. You do a great job during the panels. I just wasn't into who was going to be there, and I'm not, huge into like the drawing with Twisted or whatever. I'm not there for the MNE artist really, which is the Magic Ninja Entertainment artist, which a lot of people are. I'm surprised at how long the lines are for like Twisted, and I think Rox was there. Of course, SE Rocks, but the RoxX musician group that is with MNE. I'm not really familiar with them. I know G Moski, but he wasn't there this year, which was kind of a bummer, but he's working on a record, so that's cool. So yeah, we didn't go down Friday, or we did go down Friday, but we didn't actually go to Astronomicon on Friday because, like I said, the one panel was canceled, and Xander wasn't feeling well, and Friday was going to be his only day, so that's really the only reason why we were going to go down. So we just hung out Friday, chilled with some friends, had some food and whatnot, and then Saturday morning we made the 20-minute drive to Sterling Heights to Wyndham Gardens, where they host Astronomicon, and it was not super busy. It was busy. We had to park around back. There was no parking spots. It was hard to find a parking spot, but going in the back was actually a lot better than going in the front. I don't know if it was like a secret or something, but like there was no line to walk in. You just walk in, and then we had to get our passes still, which that was an experience. They walked you up to the front because we didn't have our passes. We had our tickets on paper, and I went up there and we got my and Dre's, which was supposed to be weekend passes, our lanyards to wear around our neck, and we got back in line, and Drea noticed that it said, like, Saturday pass only, and I was like, well, no, they were supposed to be weekends, so, like, I had like, an instant anxiety attack, because I was going to have to go back up and talk to Ryan from Cinemassacre, which is always cool to see those guys when they're there, and I was like, hey, dude, these are supposed to be weekend passes, and then he's like, oh, are you sure? I was like, yeah, dude, I know they're weekend passes. And I was like, well, what's the last name on it? And I had purchased the tickets from somebody else on one of the Astronomicon groups, so I didn't know the last name on it, so I'm trying to look for it. And he's like, well, what's the last name? I'm like, I got to find it. So I found it. He took care of it. Big props to Ryan for taking care of that for us very quickly. The staff there is always very professional, very polite, very welcoming, always there to help. I will get to one experience which I wasn't impressed with, I'm sure the dudes are volunteers that are working with the celebrities, but I'll get to that towards the end because that was on Sunday. But anyway, the At Saturday, I can't even remember who we hit first. I think we just did our walkthrough, checked out all the vendors, a lot of cool vendors, a lot of amazing artists. Didn't seem to be a whole lot of cosplayers on Saturday. There were a handful. There was a group of I can't remember what they're called. Living Dead Girls, Dead something girls. I don't know. I have their card, but they had their own booth. They were pretty cool. Plenty of Funko Pops, which Lil Dre will tell you he spent way too much money on Funkos, and somehow the doofus managed to buy the same exact Funko. I don't know if he bought one Saturday and completely forgot that he bought it, and then he bought it on Sunday because the one vendor was doing like 50% off certain pops and then $5 for other pops. And it wasn't a regular size pop. It was like a huge pop, like it looked like a 12 incher or something. I don't know. It was huge. So how he didn't realize that he had bought one the day before, or maybe the same day. I don't know when he bought it. He doesn't remember when he bought it. He didn't even realize it until we got home, and we were unpacking all our things, and he's like, "Oh my God, how did I have two of these?" Or maybe he checked at Kyle and Leslie's. I can't remember. I just know he was like, "How did I buy two of these?" And I have no idea how he did. So he has two of these something Star Wars fighter like big pops that he thought he was getting a deal on one and actually wasn't, because he paid for two of them, I guess, which sucks. But he ended up getting 4 or 5 pops that weekend. I spent too much on the ones I got too. I can't even remember all of them I got. I had bought a Child's Play Hot Topic exclusive on the way down to have Andy Vincent sign. I had bought a Shredder convention exclusive to get signed by Kevin Eastman, and then while I was there, I bought a couple that were on sale. I bought a Winston Zedmore from Ghostbusters from Hot Topic, and then I bought another one for $5 because I had it on sale. So I bought two of the same pop too, but I knowingly did it. Winston seemed to be hard. He's like the hardest Ghostbuster to find. They're not worth anything, but it was cool. I met him last year at Midwest Gaming Classic, so I've been looking for one of those for a while. So yeah, getting to the celebrities we met. On Saturday, we met pretty much all of them but 3 or 4 that we wanted to meet. Take a sip here. Yeah, let me try to remember who we met first. I don't know who we met first. I remember walking by all of them. Lines weren't super long for all of them, except for Kevin Eastman's was super long, and somebody else's who I don't believe we even ended up meeting. But it was pretty quick to get in and out of the lines when you wanted to. I can't remember who we met first, but I'll just go into who we met over the weekend. We got to meet Lloyd Kaufman, who was super cool to talk to, and it was really awesome because we were looking at the merch that we wanted to purchase, and the dude was like, "Hey, because I was gonna buy one of the reproduction Toxic Avenger posters, full size," and he's like, "Hey, we just found a bunch of these original 1984 like one sheets 11 by 17s in the basement of the Trauma headquarters." And I was kind of iffy on it because he was really trying to push me to buy them. It was only like $5 more, but it wasn't a full size. But then he pulled them out and he showed them to us, and they were kind of discolored a little bit. You could tell they were aged, and the original like print and stuff is on the front and the back, which is super cool to find a print from 1984 from the Toxic Avenger. So we bought that. The fella was gone to the bathroom, so we had to stay. Lloyd Kaufman, the fella, I just call him the fella, was in the bathroom. So we waited about 10 minutes for him to come back. He was super cool, talked to us for about 5 minutes, took a picture with us. It was just going to be me and Lil Dre, and he's like, no, I don't want to get a picture with just these dudes, and made Dreasaurus come over, and she got in the picture with us. He was really cool to meet. He was funny. He was really animated. It was cool to meet him. They had so many of the Trauma flicks there that were just like they're so crazy. Some of the movies that are out there, I haven't even heard of like any of them besides Toxic Avenger and Nukem from Nukem High School or something like that. I can't remember the titles, guys, but I only watched it like once, and it was when I was super younger. So we met him. We got to meet. I'm trying to go down the line on who we met that day, and I can't remember them. I'll go from what I remember. Alex Vincent we met, who played Andy in Child's Play 1, 2, and 3, and then came back for Cult of Chucky and Curse of Chucky, maybe? I think just Cult of Chucky. So cool to meet Alex Vincent, guys. I can't even explain how... He must have been the first one we met, because I remember after I met him, like, my legs were shaking. Just because, like, we had this cool conversation. He was signing the thing, and I told him, you know, well, can you make it out to Jesse and Draven? And, like, instantly he's like, oh, like, Draven from The Crow? He's like, that's one of my favorite movies. And then he's like, it must be yours, too, huh? And I was like, yeah, and I got to, like, show him, you know, my tattoos on my sleeve, which some of them have to do with The Crow. And it was just like, we made that connection, and it was cool, so we talked for a little bit, and he was telling me how I should go watch Man on Fire? I think it's Man on Fire with Denzel Washington. I've heard of it like numerous times. I never watched it, but he said like the premise is kind of the same, where it's like about revenge. He said I should really check it out if I like The Crow. And yeah, it was just cool, man. He sat there and he talked to us for probably 10 minutes. Really cool dude. I was kind of iffy because it seems like he doesn't do a lot of conventions. I've seen some stuff where they said, you know, he's kind of keeps to himself, but he was super cool, man. I would love to meet him again. Definitely worth. Like I said in the prior podcast, I don't like spending money on getting like autographs and photos, but he was for sure worth it, man. We got I got my pop signed by him. He signed it to Jesse and Draven, obviously. Friends till the end, and then Alex Vincent, Andy. So that's cool. That goes on our shelf. And to top it off, like I remember in the recap, or not, this is the recap on the rundown show. I'm sorry, guys. I had mentioned that a lot of the guys were probably doing like free photos with the purchase of an autograph, which a lot of them were. Lloyd Kaufman was free for everything, I'm pretty sure. He was just signing and taking pictures with everybody, but he would sign it if it was your item or you had bought something, basically. So yeah, he would sign anything you had. So yeah, that was cool of Lloyd Kaufman. You know, a legendary person in the industry doing free things, just like Sid Haig used to do. Rest in peace, brother. So next up, I believe down the line would have been Nathan Basil. I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name, and I know that I hate myself for it. I don't know if it's Basil or Basil. Anyway, dude who played Leslie Vernon from Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon, one of my favorite underrated like slasher flicks, you know, breaks the fourth wall. He was so cool to talk to too. Such a nice guy, just humble. Talked to us for like 15 minutes. I had him autograph two things. I had the little petri dish with the heart in it, which was like super rare. He made a comment. He's like, "Oh, I haven't seen these in a while," and he signed that for us. And I was like, "Well, how much?" Because he had some really cool prints to sign too. I was like, "Is it $20 more to sign the print?" He's like, "Well, it's $20 for the autograph." So you know, I'm thinking, okay, 20 each. Yeah, I'll drop $40 because he wasn't charging anything for pictures. And so we talked a little bit about the movie. You know, he gave me a backstory on what had happened to the original mask, which I guess somebody had stole the mask, the slasher weapon he used, his costume and everything on the last day of filming, which was really shitty. He's like, yeah, we know who did it. And then he talked about a possible sequel, which was really cool to hear him talk about it and give his idea for what a sequel could be. And something I didn't even think of, but which would fit so perfectly. So, yeah, Nathan was awesome to meet. Took a picture with us. I went to pay for the autographs, and I was like, so is it 40? He's like, just 20. So he only charges $20. So thank you out there if you listen to this. He's my friend on Facebook now. I was super stoked about that. He tagged himself in my photo and liked it, so I'm marking out huge for that. I've been a fan of his forever since that movie came out. So thank you so much, Nathan, for making that experience worth. It was worth the drive just to meet him and Alex Vincent, to be honest with you. They were really cool to hang out, not even hang out with, I don't know, to talk to for, 5-10 minutes or whatever and get a picture. Back to like our social media podcast where, not everything's in your phone. You got to make memories, face to face. Well, I have face to face memories that are going to last forever. And, the photo memories too. So it was definitely worth it. Next up was Art the Clown from the Terrifier. I didn't get a picture or anything with him just because the movie was decent. I just didn't have any kind of connection to that character. Didn't have the extra money. I was trying to spend wisely because I had tried to plan out what I was going to spend, which I did okay, I guess. We'll get to that down the line here. Next up in the line, I believe, was C.J. Hughes, Jason Voorhees from Jason Lives, my favorite Friday the 13th movie. Initially, we were kind of standing off to the side, and I was looking at his prices, and I was him-hawing because I had a print that I wanted to get signed, and I wanted to get the mask signed because I'd like to get, every time we meet a Friday the 13th actor, I'd like to kind of get like a mask signed and put it up on our shelf. So he saw me kind of, him-hawing and looking. He's like, "Hey, brother, come here. He's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I see you over there. You're him-hawing. You're not gonna. What do you want to do? What money do you want to spend? Well, how much money you guys spend?" And I'm like, "Well, I don't have." He's like, "I see you're a number quencher, aren't you? You're quenching numbers. Well, what do you want?" So he went into this whole thing, and he's like, "Well, this is what you'll get. If you pay this, you pay that, you pay this." And I'm like, "All right, I'll think about it. We'll walk around some more. I'll come back." I knew I was gonna get his autograph and get a picture, but I didn't want to spend the extra like $30 or whatever to have the print signed too, which it would have costed me, I think, $70 altogether with everything I wanted to do. So we walked around more, went out and got the print, went to the vendors again, came back to him. I was like, "All right, I'm just going to have you do the mask and, the photo." And he went off on this because Drea Soras has her hashtag, I can't remember what it is. What is it? MBA, has her master's, and she goes off about it all the time. Well, he had said something about me having a degree, and I was like, "Yeah, I have an associate's." He's like, "Well, what is it in?" I was like, "Graphic design." He's like, "Well, yeah, I guess you can have numbers." And he went on this whole spiel. I swear to God, guys, he talked to us for at least 30 minutes about finances and how he owned casinos and how, he had to quench numbers. And then he started talking to Dreasaurus about, her degree and how she spent so much money on it and how she, is going to have to pay it off in a certain number of years. Blah, blah, blah. Seriously talked to us for like 30 minutes, if not more, about all of this. He said, always remember 3 words: qualify, quantify, simplify. So if any of you horror fans out there want to know C.J. Hughes' advice, it's qualify, quantify, simplify. It had nothing to do with horror movies. He said not one thing about horror movies at all during that whole conversation. Really threw me off because I wanted to ask him a couple things about Jason Lives, and I didn't get to, just because he went off, and I was just, trying to... I was taking it all in, man, because here's C.J. Hughes, guy who played Jason Voorhees, just like talking to us about finances and all his casinos and his engine in his boat blowing up 3 times, and it was really cool to talk to him. It wasn't what I expected to discuss with Jason Voorhees, but it was cool. He was a cool guy. Like I said before, a lot of these celebrities were really personable. He didn't have to talk to us for 30 minutes, but he did. Took a picture with us. I spent a lot on him. I think I spent 60, 40, 50 or 60 on him. I can't remember. It was more than I had wanted to spend, but I did anyway because it's fucking Jason Voorhees and he talked to us. So that was cool. I think that's all we did that day. We were there pretty much all day too. Dre started getting a little hangry about 4 o'clock, so we bolted about 5. I kind of wanted to hang out for the after party, try to slide in for the concert, but we were all kind of hangry at that point, I guess. So Sunday, who did we get to Sunday? I him-hawed on Lita until the end of Sunday, which I'll get back to that too. We ended up buying Funkos. I can't remember. I did buy another one. I can't remember what other one I bought though. Yeah, I can't remember. I was hoping to find some like cool retro wrestling figures. I didn't find any. That was kind of a bummer. They had no video game vendors this year, which kind of tells me that the video game, like the retro video game scene's kind of dwindling out. The fact that there wasn't one guy there selling any retro video games, and last year a dude had a whole bunch of them. I know Drea Soras got to meet Boogeyman on Sunday, which was, I'm sure, really cool for her because he wanted to pick her up and take a picture. So he picked her up, got a picture. I got a really cool picture of James Jude Courtney, who plays Michael Myers in the new Halloween films. Of those two, they came up, they shook hands, hugged. This is James Jude and Boogeyman. Got a picture of that, which was cool. Kind of a slide in. They're in front of us doing it. I'm going to take a picture thing. We did meet James Jude Courtney on Sunday. Another cool guy, talked to us for about 10 minutes. Told me about how this is probably some of the new Halloween, the trilogy of the new Halloween series, were probably some of the most brutal movies he's filmed. Said he got all fucked up filming them, broken ribs and shit. So I'm really looking forward to seeing the next Halloween. I think it's Halloween Kills is the one that comes out this year. I wasn't until I talked to him, and he really put it over on how brutal it's gonna be. So I'll be checking that out. Signed a poster. I think we got a poster. No, he signed a Funko. Yeah, signed a Funko. Got a Funko with Michael Myers signed. He was totally hitting on all these dudes were totally hitting on Dreasaurus, which was funny. James Jude Courtney, Boogeyman, Alex Vincent, Nathan, all of them seemed like they were totally hitting on her. Maybe they were hitting on all females. I don't know, but she was soaking it in. So James Jude Courtney gave her a kiss and did the choking, gimmick for the picture, which was cool. I did break down and buy the autograph from Lita at the end of Sunday. I had a little extra cash. I mean, how many times am I going to get a chance to meet one of the female divas, quote unquote, that I grew up watching? The Hardy Boys were fucking huge. Part of my, I guess, early to mid 20s, kind of, they brought me back into wrestling, and she was a huge part of that too. I thought she was gorgeous, and she was totally polarizing and mesmerizing to meet. Beautiful. Didn't take much time to talk with the fans that I noticed, which was a bummer. I was in awe, so I didn't get to ask her anything. I wanted to ask her about what she had thought about Edge coming back. Didn't get a chance to, but because I was kind of like, I was like a teenage boy meeting I don't know, somebody who he's in love with, but got to shake her hand, got a picture with her. I spent the most on her that I spent of any celebrity that weekend, I believe, which is okay, because like I said, when am I going to have a chance again? If I died tomorrow, I met fucking Lita. If she, God forbid, passes away, I got to meet her before that happened, which it happened last year with Sid, man. We got to meet him the year before he passed away, and it's really cool to have been able to do that. And that just reminded me, we met Bill Moseley. Bill Moseley, let's see. A lot of fans put him over for how awesome he is and how down to earth and just fan friendly he is. I don't know if he was just tired because it was getting towards the end of the day Sunday, but he was just very short with us. I don't know. I was really bummed out. I expected more of him. I did bring the print that I had Sid sign last year. Bill signed it, and after he signed it, he looked up in the corner and seen that Bill had signed it, and he's like, "Oh, Bill signed it," and he looked devastated, man. He just, lost one of his best friends. I'm sure it was hard. We took a picture with him, and that was really that. He didn't say much. I tried engaging him a little bit about 3 from Hell, which I haven't even seen yet, so I was kind of just, going to ask questions. He didn't really say anything besides he didn't have to drive very far. He was just going to drive 30 minutes to Big Uncle Bill Moseley's place. I guess he lives 30 minutes from Sterling Heights. I was and am kind of disappointed in that experience with him, just because of how much everybody says he's awesome. And I'm sure he is. It's just he wasn't to us, I guess. Coming to the biggest disappointment of the con, Brutus Brudi, the Barber Beefcake. Dude was on his phone the whole time Saturday. Sunday he wasn't so much. When we'd walk by, he didn't seem like he was, but we met him Saturday and he was on his phone the whole fucking time. And it was really disappointing. Had him sign my figure, got a picture with him, and then he went to sign Dreasaurus's figure, and I had only paid $40. I don't know if the staff before, because staff had changed in between my signing and Drea's signing. Somehow the staff had changed. I got charged, I want to say $40 for an autograph and a picture, which was what it was supposed to be. And then when the new staff came in, they tried charging, they did charge her, I think, $15 more just to sign her figure, because like the rate on the table said $30 for a figure, so the lady thought that it was charging $30 for the figure, which it wasn't. They were selling figures on the table earlier for $30, but Brutus was too fucking into his phone to understand the conversation. And like I was trying to tell Dre, I'm like, no, you need to tell this lady. So I'm telling her, I'm like, no, they were selling figures, that's not what it is. And she argued about it, and then finally Brutus got off the phone, and like I was so pissed off and frustrated that I had walked away, and Drea just wouldn't say anything, and she ended up paying like $15 more for the autograph figure than what was supposed to be charged, which was really fucking shitty. Not only on the part of Brutus to not pay attention to what was going on, but to the staff who obviously didn't know what to charge, but pushed the fact that it was going to be more. I didn't catch her name, but it was like the first bad experience with staff. And then I will backtrack a little bit to the next bad experience. Dude who was working Boogeyman's booth was kind of a dick when I was taking pictures, because none of the other staff had problems with me taking pictures of like Draven with a celebrity or Dreasaurus with a celebrity. But for some reason, like dude who was working Boogeyman booth was really, he's like, I'll take the picture. And I was like, no, dude, it's cool. I'm gonna take it. I'm not in the picture, so I don't. He's like, well, it's kind of my job. And I was like, yeah, I get that, but I can snap the picture. And he stood over my shoulder the whole time to watch me snap, because you snap 2 or 3 pictures just in case one's not bad. And I snapped the third one. He's like, yeah, that one came out good. And I wanted to be like, dude, chill the fuck out. Like, I get you're a volunteer. You got a job to do. We're not holding up a fucking line. It was at the end of the day Sunday. Boogie was fine doing what he was doing. He was the one that wanted to pose the picture holding up Dreasaurus. Dude just kind of really irritated me, and I didn't say anything, but I wanted to. But just know that I appreciate volunteers and everything, but you don't have to be a fucking douchebag. Like, we're paying the money. Let us snap a couple quick pictures, especially if we're not holding up the line. Don't know your name either. You had curly hair. I think you had a hat on, but fuck you for being a dick on Sunday. But I think that's all the celebrities we met going down the line. Yeah, I think that's all. I remember on Sunday we had just got there. We were going to Kevin Eastman. I'll get to that right now, because we were walking to the Kevin Eastman line, because I wasn't even sure where it was on Saturday, so we had to ask so we could get in line on Sunday. And as we're walking through the lobby, like fucking Michael Myers is walking towards me. I was like, good morning, sir. He's like, hey, good morning, buddy. So it was cool catching him on his way into his booth. We got to meet the legendary Kevin Eastman from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fame, creator. Had him sign a shredder. Draven bought a comic, had him sign a comic. Really cool dude. He wasn't taking pictures, like pose pictures. Got a couple pictures of him signing the things. That's another once in a lifetime kind of thing. Alexa Bliss was there Saturday. Her line was fucking huge. I know I missed her on the rundown, but it was just because she wasn't in my plans of meeting, just because I could not drop a bill 50 to meet Alexa Bliss and get a picture with her as much as I'd like to. And it was really cool because the day before, Bowling for Soup, the pop punk band, released a song about Alexa Bliss, and it almost made me want to get the pro photo op just because she was so cool in the video. But we didn't get to. Tim White, legendary WWE referee, was her handler there. I was hoping to run into him and get a picture. It would have been cool if they could have had a panel with him just to have him tell some fucking amazing WWF stories, but I'm sure they probably didn't know he was going to be the handler. But yeah, so that was our weekend. I'm sure I'm missing something. I don't know. I had Lita sign this really cool print that she said she only brings to horror conventions, which is her like with zombies around her. She's holding a brain, which was cool to have that print. There were some other celebrities there, like I said. Richard Brake was there, the dude from Rookie of the Year who played the the main star. He was also in, I think, American Pie, maybe. He was in Halloween Resurrection. He was there. The dudes from Clerks were there. It might have been cool to meet Jason Randall from the Clerks, but I didn't go for that. Yeah, there were a few other ones, but nothing that really I was super needed to do to spend more money. I ended up walking out with, I think I had $50 after all was said and done between buying Funkos and eating for the weekend and, gas and stuff. So I spent a pretty penny. Oh, I did get this sweet Jason Voorhees Friday the 13th. It's called a Fabrication by Funko. Got it for like $10 out of a bargain bin pop. Something cool I haven't seen before. It's like a little plush Jason Voorhees gimmick. So that was cool. So we definitely got a lot of cool stuff. Had some cool experiences that I'll probably never have again. I always complain about spending money because I'm poor as fuck. But like I said, these are experiences I'm never going to have again. I hope that Lil Dre will remember these experiences too. Going back to meeting Xander and Saginaw, I want to give props to my brother Xander. He hooked me up. He had said for a while, like, somebody stole my tripod. That's why I haven't shot many videos lately. Any videos, as a matter of fact. I don't know if somebody stole it or if I had left it at a wrestling promotion show and somebody picked it up, but I cannot find it anywhere. I had asked him about it, and he bought me a new tripod, so didn't have to do that. And it was really weird because, we all went out to eat, and he's like, hey, I got your stuff in my car, so we're walking out, and he's like, oh, yeah, you're not even, or he's, I don't know, if like, you're not expecting this or something. I'm like, dude, I know you got me a tripod. Like, what are you talking about? And he's like, are you ready? Are you ready? And I'm like, yeah, dude, like, let's go. I gotta leave. We gotta get on the road before the snow hits. And he opens it up, and he's like, well, here you go, dude. I think he said Merry Christmas. I don't know. And he handed me the Back to the Future Time Machine Funko, which I have wanted forever. I never bought it before it was vaulted because I wasn't into Funkos at the time. And I couldn't see dropping. It was like, I don't know, $30 I think when it came out, 25 or something. It's the one with Marty Jannetty in the time machine. And he had told me he had it a while ago. I was like, dude, if you ever want to get rid of it, I'll buy it. Just don't, hit me up on eBay prices. I'll buy it off you. I really want it. And he gave it to me for a Christmas gift. So yeah, thanks, man. You didn't have to do that. I really appreciate that. I don't get many gifts in my life. I don't have a lot of people that close to me like that. So I really appreciate you coming off on that and giving me that and buying me a new tripod so I can shoot videos. Really appreciate that, brother. Thank you for being a good dude all the time. Yeah, so thanks for that. So I think that's everything. I'm sure I'm missing something. I keep looking at my shelf. I don't see anything. I want to say I got other wrestling figures. What did I buy? Oh, I bought a Ted DiBiase and IRS Money Inc. Funko dual box thing, which I didn't need, but I bought it anyway. Yeah, but I think that's it. So that's our rundown, my rundown on Astronomicon 3. They already announced the dates for next year. I was really hoping they were going to move the venue because it is getting a little bit crowded and packed. But it's going to be at Wyndham Gardens again next year. I don't know the dates. It is the weekend of Valentine's Day. So if you guys are in the Sterling Heights area, you're looking for something fun to do for the weekend, a weekend pass I think is like, you can get it on Thanksgiving. They do a promo package for $50 for all 3 days. Even if you just buy the pass and you go to hang out and meet new people. I finally got to meet Darius, who somehow we added each other last year after Astronomicon. I had never met the guy. We finally got to meet this year. It was really cool to meet him. Amazing father. I just want to throw that out there. Dude's always doing stuff with his daughters. Looks like he has a blast in life. So it was awesome meeting you, dude. I met a quote-unquote fan, which was really awesome. Had followed each other on Instagram for a while. She was there. We got to talk just a little bit, got some pictures, so that was cool. Meeting new people for me is hard. I get anxiety. Being in big groups, I get super, super bad anxiety. But things like this, I feel a little more comfortable, like concerts and stuff. It was really cool to just, talk to a couple people I've talked to via social media. Go back and listen to our podcast on social media. And it was cool to just be in a group of people who are like-minded, who enjoy horror and wrestling and music, and who are not judging you, and just a community who is accepting of one another. So be accepting, people out there. Do your due diligence to help one another out. Do not judge. Do not pass judgment. I feel a podcast coming on about shitty people. I feel like I'm going to have to debut the segment called Rox Rages, and I'm just going to fucking go off on things. I was going to debut it last year as a Facebook Live segment, but I think it's going to have to be its own podcast because there are a lot of shitty people out there, and I want to talk about it. So yeah, thanks for joining this recap of Astronomicon 3. Be sure to follow Xander Media on Facebook. Check out his videos on the YouTubes. Subscribe to Blank Canvas Entertainment. Check us out on Facebook, Blank Canvas Entertainment and Design. Go like the SE Rocks Facebook page, the SE Rocks Instagram, which is s.e._rocks, RoxX on Instagram. Thanks for listening, guys. Thanks for your support. We're getting a couple subscribers here a month, it looks like. I appreciate you guys sharing the videos, checking them out. We're not growing very fast, getting frustrated again, but we're going to keep them coming at you guys as long as you're out there listening. So thanks for listening. Join us next time and keep rocking.